Joyous Rising family, this is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is Tuesday and the time is 11:11 a.m. We're going to continue on with our Universal Laws series. So the laws of the universe is made up of 12 laws or principles that govern the entire universe. Now, these universal laws are laws that were recognized by our ancestors or by the ancients, that guided their behavior and that they considered very spiritual or metaphysical because they said these laws have always been here. So let's jump right into the laws of the universe. We'll do a summary of 1 through 8 first, and then we'll get into 9 through 12 and we'll conclude the series. So briefly, law number 1 is the law of divine oneness. That law just simply states that everything in the universe is from one source. It will return to that same source, and therefore it is interconnected because we're all one, and we should treat all sentient beings with love and empathy. That just means treat everything and everybody the way you desire to be treated. Law number 2 is the law of vibration. That law asserts that everything is energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just is. However, it can be changed because it flows. And as such, you and I have the power to change energy. We have the power to affect energy, I should say. And that is through our vibration. So it's always important to raise your vibrations, and as much as you can, be positive, because your being, your thoughts, your words, and your emotions affect everything around you. That leads me to law number 3. This universal law is probably the most popular universal law, and that is the law of attraction. You can bring to you certain experiences and certain people through your energy. Can you see how powerful you are, how magnificent you are, how wonderful you are? Because what you think about and focus on manifests. What you think about and focus your attention on multiplies. So my darlings, use that energy and that power to bring about the things in your life that you desire. That leads me to principle number 4, or universal law number 4, the law of correspondence. Basically, that means that your environment is in correlation or direct reflection to what's inside of you. As without, so within. As within, so without. So your environment is a mirror of how you're feeling inside, what you're thinking inside, and also what you've experienced. So if you desire to create change or to manifest, the best way to do it and the easiest way to do it is to look within. It's also to make sure that you have resolved issues completely brought about. So you want to resolve any internal conflict. You want to make sure that you have a good self-image. You want to make sure that you have a good self-esteem or positive self-esteem, or basically that anything that you're feeling internal is coming from a place of love, joy, and peace, because that affects what's external of you. It affects your weight. It affects your mental health, what's going on inside you. It affects the orderliness of your room, of your space, your car, your house. It affects your behaviors, your spending habits, and your choices. What's outside of you is a reflection of what's inside you. So if you desire to have positive things happen, order on the outside, beauty around you, then make sure that starts from within. That's the law of correspondence. That leads me to number 5, the law of inspired action. The law of inspired action simply posits that you create space to hear from your internal guide. Now, your internal guide or God or your highest self or your ancestors. You can say your spiritual guide or your angels. They all speak to you and inspire you or move you to action to create beauty, to create change, to thrive, to do wonderful, mighty, beautiful things. It is imperative that we create space so that we can hear from those internal guides or that source in order to move forward. So set aside time and create space or an opportunity to hear from your guide. That may mean taking a walk by the beach. That may mean going out in nature or sniffing flowers to inspire you or move you to action. It may mean to have beauty around you, or for some, it's creating a vision board. Whatever it is that helps you to be moved to action or to light a fire in you, then do that. That is the law of inspired action. For some, it's creating a vision board or just simply being in quiet and visualizing what it is you desire. That is the law of inspired action. That leads me to the law of perpetual transmutation. Law number 6, or principle number 6. This law states again that everything is energy. We know that we're coming from that place. That's our frame of reference, that everything is energy. However, having said that and knowing that it's neither created nor destroyed, energy can be changed or transmuted. And you, my darling, you have the power to change energy around you. You have the power to change environments. You have the power to heal, the power to speak life, the power to bring about any type of dynamic, effectual change that you desire. This law posits that since you have that in you, use that frequency to bring about change. So raise your vibrations when it's necessary and do what it takes to bring about change. You may speak to a situation to transmute energy. You have the power to speak to a cell and tell that cell to multiply and regenerate. You have the power within you as being an energetic being that has come from the source and has the same power as God or the source to heal bodies. You have the power to speak to situations and tell them to get out of your way or to change. So use it. That is the law of perpetual transmutation. Things and energy can change based on your words, based on your thoughts, and even based on your emotion. Have you ever been in a situation where everybody is down, they're not feeling well, and you come in and you're smiling and you say, "Hello, everybody," and they ask, "How are you?" "I am wonderful. I am amazing. Life is grand." Have you ever tried that and saw that the vibration in the room or the energy or mood in the room completely shifts? That happened because of your energy and your vibration. You used your energy, your aura, you used your body, you used your facial expressions and your words to speak life into that environment. So that is what transmutation is about, the law of changing energy or the law of perpetual transmutation. Energy is always ebbing and flowing, but you make sure that you're the vessel through which that positive energy comes and affects change in the universe. That leads us to principle number 7. Law number 7 is the law of cause and effect. Everything you do brings about some type of reaction. It may take time to get around to you, but it will come to you. So for every cause, there is an effect. For every action, there is a reaction. Simple law. Use your frequency to make sure that whatever it is you put out in the universe is positive so that you can affect something positive to happen. And that leads us to law number 8, the final law that we covered on yesterday, and that is the law of compensation. That is simply a law about rewards. Whatever you sow, ye shall reap. Whatever you put out, it will come back to you. You will receive a payment for what you think, say, and do. Make sure that that reward is positive. So sometimes people have bad experiences. And oftentimes it is, because we just live in a world where different things happen. You have different energies. Sometimes that bad experience is a direct result of the bad thoughts and the bad actions or bad decisions that individuals have made. On the other hand, you can ensure that you have a good outcome or a good life based on what you have sown. If you want to reap a righteous, positive, happy life, sow righteous, positive thoughts into the earth. Make sure righteous, positive words come out your mouth and righteous, positive energy comes out. I had somebody say to me once, it seems like things go well for you in your life. Now, it hasn't always been the case because we all live and go through experiences. But I told the person it's because I've sown in righteousness. And it's also because of the lens through which I choose to see the world. The lens through which you choose to see the world is called your perspective. Your perspective on life really does matter. Two people can have the same experiences, but perceive them to be differently. That leads us to law number 9 for today, the law of relativity. Everything in life is relative. What does that mean, Dr. Pruitt? That means an experience or how you perceive an experience is based on who you are and how you choose to see it. So, have you ever thought about how it is that 3 or 4 children can grow up in one house and have virtually the exact same experiences, but they turn out differently or they perceive them differently? And you're like, I know we all had the same parents and lived in the same house and under the same address, and the parents basically had the same rules for us, but life is relative. Experiences are relative. Experiences depend upon how you internalize it, how you perceived it, and how you choose to experience that certain experience or process that experience. It's all relative. It's about having multiple perspectives. Look at things from different angles. So if you're going through something that is negative, try to look at it from a positive perspective, if at all possible, because life is all relative. So for example, I recently went through death, or I should say transition, right? Because when the husband of my youth, my children's father, passed, it was very, very challenging for me. It was very hard because he was really the center of our world. He had been sick for many years and we were all doing our part to keep him alive. And we fought so hard, with different doctors, et cetera, et cetera. When he transitioned, it felt very final. It felt like I couldn't bring him back and I was sad. But I took some time to myself and I said, now you can look at this like an end, like you'll never see him again, like he's dead, like he's gone forever, like he'll never be back. Or you can make a conscious choice, Kia, to look at this as an opportunity to speak to him in a spiritual realm and to let him know how your day is going, and to look at him as now being an angel and a spiritual guide. You can look at it as him being perpetually a part of you as you spend so many years of your life together, since I was 15. And the father of your children, you could choose to look at him as being a part and a reflection of your children that still lives on, because energy never dies. Energy changes and it ebbs and flows. It's in constant motion, but it's always here. Family, when I decided to look at his transition as a transition or a change, or moving from the physical to the spiritual, rather than looking at it as a final destination, someone I would never see again, my life was filled with so much peace. And of course, it helped that I had a dream from him, and he told me, I am at peace. I chose to look at it as him saying, I am at rest, so now you rest. You see what I mean? Life is about perception. How do you choose to look at what you're going through? How do you choose to look at where you are right now? It's up to you. You have the power to look at life however you desire, because you are source. That leads me to law number 10, the law of polarity. The law of polarity simply states that there is an opposite to everything in life. To every problem, there is a solution. For every obstacle, there is an opportunity. Everything in life is an opportunity to manifest what you desire. Every experience, wherever it is on this side, you can bring about a change if you realize that there is a certain thing as polarity. This gives you the opportunity to use your power to do something about where you are. So, during the pandemic, a lot of people, so as I was like thrown off, like, what am I going to do? People lost their jobs, or at least they were forced to stay home. People were separated from their family members, and for many people that was devastating. However, some people chose that time of devastation to look for opportunities to do something different. So since they couldn't go out to work for a corporation or a company, many people decided to create businesses. Some people who couldn't go out and earn money decided to just look at this as an opportunity to barter with their neighbors. Some people who couldn't see each other face to face made the best use of what we're using today, computers and phones, to see each other. Some people looked at the opportunity of not being in such a hurry and going out and being around so much energy and different traffic obstacles and different modes of transportation. Some people chose to take that time to simply sit in silence and hear from their inner guide. Some people who couldn't send their children to school because the schools were closed looked at that as an opportunity to teach their children at home. And they took a step beyond that. Some hired a teacher who didn't have a job to now create her own school and use her computer to teach children in the community. So there is a such thing as polarity, or an opposite, here in the universe, but use that to your advantage to see on the other side of a situation and make it work in your best interest. And that leads us to law number 11, the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm simply asserts that to everything there is a time and a season. I believe that's Ecclesiastes. There's a season and there's a time of everything. There's a time for peace. There's a time for war. There's a time for beauty. There's a time for destruction. There's a time of being happy and a time of sadness. Life is about seasons, my darling, but you can use that to your advantage. Sometimes it simply means to just surrender to the flow of life. Now, when you understand that there are seasons to your life, then it helps you to look at life being beautiful and just looking to your spiritual guide or your inner self to guide you on what should you do at this stage in life. I remember going through a very uncertain period in my life. And I went to my elder brother. His name is David. And at the time, my elder brother, David, he was a brother-in-law, but we don't use in-laws. We call him Bishop. Bishop was also my pastor. And I asked him, why is this going on right now? I'm not really getting it. It looks like I should be doing more. It looks like I should be, on another side of this situation. And what he said to me is he's a very, very compassionate individual. He said, sister, try to use his voice. Sister, he touched my hand. Sister, I need you to understand that you are right where you're supposed to be. Everything in life happens for a reason. And there's a season and a time for everything. My dear, you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now in this time and space. And do you know that brought me such peace? Because although we have the power to manifest and the power to move forward in life, sometimes life is just asking us to be still. To be still and listen to our inner guide, to be still and listen to your inner wisdom or to source, to know how to operate right now and how to move forward. Because sometimes we can be so in a hurry to move forward to the next phase of our life that we don't enjoy right where we are. Sometimes life is asking us to be still and be grateful. Oftentimes life is asking us to sit in silence and say, thank you for where I am. Thank you for what I've experienced in the past. Thank you for where I am. And thank you for where I am going. Because to everything in life, there is a season and a time and a rhythm. So take the time wherever you are right now in life and express gratitude and look for the opportunities. What is this particular experience right now asking of me? And I guarantee you that will bring you a level of peace. And often you have a difficult time moving forward until you sit where you are and learn from where you are and give thanks for where you are at this present moment. Now that will take me to our final principle, the law of gender. That is the 12th law of the universe. The 12th law of the universe says that the divine feminine and divine masculine are two energies that are different, but they must work in harmony together to bring about balance in our lives. Now, in our society, there's a big focus on the divine masculine, on masculine energies. And that is why so many people are sick, because we only focus on one energy. Now, masculine energy is no better than feminine energy, and feminine energy is not better than masculine energy. They're all both important and serve their purpose. But because we focus so much on masculine energy, people are out of balance. They're sick. I even heard that they're planting certain plants with only male plants in many countries. And so that is even causing us to be sick because there's no balance. Now, this is how masculine and feminine energy work. Your feminine energy is connected to qualities such as feeling, emotion, spirituality. That is feminine energy. You usually don't hear people give credence to feeling. They'll say, you're supposed to think, not feel. You know, thinking is more important, but thinking is not more important than feeling. Feeling oftentimes let us know by our intuition which way we should go or what is right or what is wrong for us. Now, that's it. Feeling, emotion, spirituality, and also creativity. Our masculine energy usually relates to doing, to work, to reasoning, it's connected to confidence, authority, logic. It's action oriented. But we need to make sure there's a marriage or unification between both feminine and masculine energies in our life so that we can have balance. Now, that's one of the reasons why the people in power have the male and female fighting against each other, so that we won't have balance, so that we won't have experience to or with the other opposite energy in order to have complete harmony and joy in our lives. We need both energies working in harmony so that we can have our highest good accomplished. We also have to have the feminine side of us and the masculine side of us to come together in harmony to have balance so that we can create solutions that are for our highest good. A lot of us women are so involved in our masculine side, our masculine energy, doing, working, thinking, which is good, exerting all the energy that we don't take the time for the feminine side of us, creating, being spiritual, being loving, being soft, being pleasant. So you don't want to eat too much of one without the other. You want to have, or you need to have, a combination of both working together. And this is the beauty of relationships and marriage, is that you have two energies working in tandem or in harmony or in synergy with each other. The law of gender is actually a universal law. So it makes sense that you have balance by using both sides of you together to create solutions, and also tapping into both sides of you so you can be at complete and total peace. It's also important for feminine people to be in line with masculine people, and masculine people to be around feminine people so that you would balance each other, because too much softness would sometimes mean that people could take advantage of you. And that's why if you're a soft person, it's good to have someone around you who is a little stern. Or being too stern or too hard is not a good idea, because then you don't have peace. You don't know how to sit back and rest in softness. So those are the 12 laws of the universe. I hope I brought you some very good information to put in your life or to add to your life, so that you can be a high vibrational being, and so that you can multiply and manifest the things that you desire. Use these universal principles in your life to do certain things, to bring about what it is that you need in your life. Align yourself with these principles. Understand them. Don't understand them. Understand them. Overstand them. Make them a part of your life, because these are the laws and the principles, or the rules, so to speak, which govern everything in the universe. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've given you very valuable information to raise your vibrations and give you the power and inspiration that you need to create and affect change. I love you. Make this a magnificent day. Namaste. And remember this: to everything in life and every situation, there is a silver lining. I love you.